Howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about nostalgia and the role it plays in Magic the Gathering because it is an interesting concept. Let me share my screen. This right here is a booster box of Innistrad. It came out in 2011. It's funny, the product's so old that TCG Player doesn't give a description for it. It just calls it Innistrad. The sell-through, it's actually... in the past year, there's been, a couple dozen of these have sold. And the cheapest one right now in English is just under $600. Who's buying these? Well, somebody, right? I mean, like a couple dozen. Did one sell in the past month? Yeah, one sold today, actually. So pretty interesting. This is a beloved set. People love Innistrad. At least they did before Crimson Vow. But, long story short was that when this came out, this was loved when it came out. This was loved later. And that's part of the reason why it holds such a high price tag. But there is nostalgia for Innistrad. People want to experience Innistrad. And that's part of the reason why the box has such a premium. Now, moving along. Return to Ravnica. This is the set after the Innistrad blocks, I think maybe 2012. $175. This box is 14 years old. And it sells for just a bit above... I guess that's not fair to say it sells for a bit above MSRP. It sells for... Wow, a year ago, it was selling for basically MSRP. And that's not even accounting for inflation. Yes, you could buy these from distribution and probably buy them from stores for like $80 when they came out. But the MSRP, my understanding, was like 120 or maybe at least like 110, something like that for a booster box. And so it's crazy that just a year ago, so in 2025, 13 years after this box came out, you could buy these for $135. Now in the past year, the price has gone up to $175. But for the longest time, the price was pretty flat. Were people nostalgic? Are people nostalgic for Return to Ravnica? Well, perhaps not. It was the Return to Ravnica, not the original Ravnica. It was also printed to Oblivion. This was the first set of what Rudy calls the Bronze Age, where they started to print to... the slang for it's print to demand, but I don't think that's like technically true. But just they basically print more and more, where a product like Innistrad, before Return to Ravnica... Wizards had planned print runs, and then it was done. And it didn't matter how well the set sold. They had already printed it. And if it sold out, it sold out. That's part of the reason why Innistrad and New Phyrexia, and there's all these booster products that sold out fairly quickly, like even some of them while they were still legal and standard. And there's just no product. There's no boxes anywhere. Well, that's not the case for Return to Ravnica. They printed a lot of Return to Ravnica. The price is... not that high for a 13-year-old product. Certainly not incredible returns. Let's look at one more, and then we'll kind of get into the meat of the matter. Kaladesh. Are people nostalgic for Kaladesh? Yes, they are. Now, when did Kaladesh come out? I need to know this. When did Kaladesh? I don't know how to spell Kaladesh. Come out 2016. So this is a 10-year-old box. 10-year-old box that spiked up to $270 because the word Kaladesh is offensive in a foreign language. And so it was banned, and then the price spiked up. But even since the price spiked up, like this year is all post-price spiking. And what's interesting is similar to Return to Ravnica, we've seen a, what is that, 400 to 450? So kind of like a, what is that, 20%? 10 plus a little bit percent gain, so 13%, something like that, over the past year. Boxes have been rising in the past year. Are people nostalgic for Kaladesh? Yes, perhaps. It is a great set. People look back on it fondly. It also has masterpieces in it. There's lots of reasons to think this is a cool set. But this kind of return, so you could buy these boxes when they came out for less than $100, and then 10 years later, they are $450, $470. That is the kind of returns people expect. It's certainly not the Return to Ravnica returns. And so we paint this picture, and what I want us to think about here, the key question here is like, what is the thesis for why the old stuff appreciates? Is it nostalgia? Is it the value of the cards inside? Is it the fun factor? Is it like a playability thing, which it's hard to distinguish that from nostalgia, but you could imagine that there's perhaps just like a really fun booster product that isn't nostalgic, but it's like fun to play. I don't know. Something like Battle Bond might come to mind. I don't know. I mean, people are certainly nostalgic for it, but it might be like, whoa, this is two-headed giant. Magic never made a set like this ever again. So, let's buy this one. Anyways, what is the thesis? Like, what is the reason why these boxes, some appreciate, some don't? Is it just supply and demand? Is that all it is? That Ravnica has printed a ton of, Kaladesh and Innistrad were relatively lower print runs, or at least compared to the demand, lower print runs. Well, Cardinal Gaming, Mason with Cardinal Gaming, great channel. Check him out. He's not a sponsor, but you should go and subscribe to Cardinal Gaming. Talks about how Magic's market is starting to look like Pokemon. And I couldn't agree more that stuff is selling out. People are excited to buy Magic products in ways that people have been excited to buy Pokemon products in the past. Not for the same reasons. Magic is still not a collector's game, so to speak. It is dominated by players, which I'll get to more later. But Mason takes this and he talks about how there's a benefit to owning older stuff, and that it might be a good idea for collectors and investors to look at older collector products and older booster boxes and to buy those and to hold on to those. And I thought that was really interesting because while I agree that Magic's looking more like Pokemon, when I run the numbers, and this is my beloved spreadsheet, comes out at least once every 3 videos, maybe at least once every 5 videos, but sometimes more. This is my beloved collector investment spreadsheet where I have the years from 2020 to 2026. I have each of the main collector booster products, what you could have bought them for at the time, what you could sell them for now, what the net profits are, and the net profits take out fees and shipping. So we're accounting for fees and shipping, and then what are the net gains, and then what is the gain percentage-wise? And these values are actually overstated because it has been 6 years since 2020. And so let me fix that in my spreadsheet real quick. But it's been 6 years, and so the gains on these booster boxes are as follows. This is looking at 2020. Theros Beyond Death, 0.63% gains year over year. Inflation has killed this box. Inflation has been much greater than 0.63%. You have lost money if you bought and held on to Theros Beyond Death collector booster boxes. Ikoria, 11% gain year over year. That is good. That is good. Core Set 2021, 3.22%, probably killed by inflation. Zendikar Rising, 2.76%. Commander Legends, 21.38%. So Commander Legends, if you bought it at retail prices back in 2020, held on to it today, sold it even after shipping and fees, you have made good money. Above market returns, above average returns. That is the reality. So the question here is like, why, right? And let's just take a closer look. Let's take a look at Theros Beyond Death. This is a $300 collector booster box that most of that gain is from the past year. Just a year ago, this was $230 booster box, but now it's about $300. And when you take a look in the cards inside here, this was not a set people were excited about when it first came out, at least in my memory. Oh, this is so interesting, though, just seeing... I mean, my brother opened up a collector booster pack of Theros Beyond Death, and I think he only paid like $5 for it, because at Walmart or Target or whatever, they had them right next to the normal booster packs, and he didn't try to steal it, but somehow he scanned it, and it was only like, he only paid like $4, but he definitely got a collector booster pack because it had extended arts and things like that. Anyways, it's the reason why they changed how they used to have the same kind of outer packaging for collector and normal booster packs, but they're way too easy to steal. So that's why they made the Omega boxes. Anyways, fun little fact of history. But you take a look at the cards here. There's good cards, really. I mean, Shadow Sphere, Nyx Bloom Ancient, Thassa's Oracle. There's some powerful cards, but people don't... I mean, is there the nostalgia? Is there the demand? And are there even the cards? I mean, by the end of the second page, you're talking about $2-3 cards. I don't know what to make of this set, because let's compare this to Ikoria. Ikoria is one of the booster boxes that have performed well. And you ask yourself, why? Is it the cards inside the set? Is it the nostalgia? Is it the fun factor? And we take a look here at Ikoria. What's the most expensive? Well, you can open up a Ghidorah, King of the Cosmos. You know, I said that wrong, by the way, but, you know, Godzilla monsters, whatever. This was one of the first Universes Beyond, by the way. They're printing Godzilla-type monsters into Ikoria. Pretty crazy back in 2020. But, and I actually did open this. This was a box topper. I opened this in a regular booster box. That was sweet. Wow, you can get Ikoria booster boxes for just $240. These come with box toppers. Wow. Talk about Mayhem Friday. Anyways, so this is a cool product. A lot of people liked this. I liked this. A lot of people had a good time with this product. Has the Triumph land cycle, which honestly is kind of power crept by the Surveil land cycle in a way, but still powerful cards, playable cards. But the price is just so much higher. And is the price justified by the cards inside of it? Absolutely not. I mean, you can open up a collector booster box and you're not going to open up your value, right? So that's something, you know, now I'll talk to you face to face. So that's the first thing that we can get off the table is like, oh, are these boxes, is the price dictated by the cards inside? And that, I mean, to some extent, of course, but like, no, the value of the cards inside does not add up to what the collector box is worth, or like an Innistrad booster box. I mean, what's really crazy is you could buy every single card in the Innistrad set in its original printing near mint for like under $200, which is something I want to do someday. Mayhem Friday. But, and so the point being is that like, there's something special about these boxes that are sealed that get people engaged with the product that isn't the cards inside. And it really is this kind of X factor. But in my opinion, the core of what is going on here is just like a love for the product. When we look at Bloomburrow or Duskmourn or, you know, these collector boxes that have spiked, there really is just like an affinity for it that I don't understand as well as like a collector, investor, or evil finance-y type bro. It doesn't resonate with me, but my friends who are casual in the hobby and who see stuff and pick it up because it looks cool and they buy it and they spend great money because it looks cool, I think it resonates with them that there's just products that you have affinity for. And you could call it nostalgia, but it's not really nostalgia because new people have affinities for it too. I mean, the Bloomburrow booster box in my mind is just the kind of pinnacle of my thesis, which is just that there are some products people have an affinity for and a love for. And as long as they're not overprinted, they're the ones that are going to have these high prices. So let's get back to Mason with Cardinal Gaming's point. Should you buy and pick up these products? And my answer to that is unequivocally no, with an asterisk. Like, if you should pick up and buy and collect whatever you want to. And if you have a passion for older sets, it's crazy to call 2020 older sets, but 2020 is an older year now. And if you have a passion or an affinity for these products, then like, yeah, absolutely, you should pick up some of these boxes. But from the value perspective, from the investor perspective, from the collector, the value collector perspective, what's crazy about these products is you compare the percent gains here to what came out in 2024. And for reference, 2024 came out with Murders, Fallout, Outlaws at Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, Assassin's Creed, Bloomburrow, Duskmourn, Foundations. Now listen to these year-over-year percent gains. In 2 years, we have 6%, 95% from Fallout, 16%, 21%, 12%, 91% from Bloomburrow, 49% from Duskmourn, 71% from Foundations. There's something about the new stuff that people are loving. There is, I mean, I think honestly that there are just more players around the game today, and the stuff they see on the shelves, the stuff they see in Standard, the stuff they see played commonly in Commander, they get excited about, passionate about, and they spend money on. And I just don't see those people, these new Magic players, going back and buying Fallout booster, or sorry, not Fallout, Theros booster boxes, or even Ikoria booster boxes, maybe Ikoria, but that's kind of the thought, right? Is like, we're getting all this new demand. Are these people going to go back in time and buy these older products? And it's hard for me to see it happening. Obviously, it's going to happen to some degree. Somebody's buying these Innistrad booster boxes, 24 year or whatever. But I don't see it happening in a big way, in a powerful way. For me, I think there's so much more potential in the future stuff. And it also lines up with Wizards' incentives, right? Wizards, their goal is to get everyone to spend their money on the next thing and to forget about the old thing. I think Wizards is getting better and better at selling the new stuff. And I think investing and collecting, if you're a value collector, the new stuff, pre-ordering a box of Marvel superheroes or pre-ordering a box of The Hobbit, is going to get you more value quicker than buying this old, core set 2021 or these other products that came out years ago. Even though these years old products are certainly more scarce, more rare, I just think the demand for them is so much lower than this new stuff that it's, I wouldn't recommend going after chasing and buying this old stuff. Now, to be fair to Mason at Carnal Gaming, he's talking about from the context of like owning a game store, and you want your shelves to be full of cool products that people can pick up and buy. And so from that perspective, like, yeah, of course, like, buy all the different things you can so that you have something for everybody. But I'm just thinking about fulfilling my shelves as a collector, as investor, as somebody who's trying to make money and do value plays. I'm not a fan of the old stuff, the old collector stuff. So I'll be keeping my money away from that, but I could always be wrong. And let me know in the comment section below if you think I'm wrong. You could just start, hey, Nick, you're wrong, and then keep going. And I'd love to read that. And hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.